We're here at Gemini Prototyping. Now, this company basically takes a concept to reality, and they're making so many different products. So today I'm going to take you on a tour of their facility, and we're going to find out about so many hurdles that they face and that they overcome to make such a successful business. So how do they make something like this turn into something like this? Gemini Prototyping, so what is it exactly that you're making here?
We make prototypes for automotive, motorsports, medical, aerospace sectors.
So many industries. So when you're talking about prototyping, are you production?
No, ultimately we're a one-stop shop. We take everything from the idea and the concept right the way up to production.
So what's the setup that you've got here?
We've got a tool room on site, we've got a blow moulding department, injection moulding, we offer plastic welding, vat casting, traditional silicone moulding.
Pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So in terms of achievements, what's some of the proudest achievements that you've made here at Gemini?
Many different applications, as you can see as you're walking around the business, but I think the standout ones are with award-winning projects for a well-known electric vehicle producer, and in 2014 that won various prestigious awards. So.
And what trends are you seeing in the marketplace at the moment in regards to prototyping?
A reduction in the mass of the component, trying to be environmentally aware, different materials, a trend to move from plastics across to paper and compression paper. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So what are your predictions here in the future, and what challenges are you coming up against?
It's time is always the challenge for us. It's all wanted tomorrow. So, like I say, we can take ideas from literally a phone call, and 2 days later we've got mouldings.
My name's Nick Rolls, I'm the tool manager. We usually do injection moulding and blow moulding, that's our main.
Okay, tell me about the injection moulding process.
Right, this is a preform tool that we're making at the moment. It's all out of aluminium because that's the quickest route to get the preform done, so we can then prove it out.
And so you've physically made this out of aluminium here on site, so
Yeah.
can you tell me about that process?
Yeah, it comes in block form, and we block it all up to the client's CAD.
And then where do you take that? What's the next stage of the process?
Right, once we've injection moulded it, we take that moulding and then we blow mould it. We actually heat it up, the outside, and blow mould it into another cavity.
And can you tell me about some of the processes that you come up against when you get to the blow moulding process?
It's usually a problem with wall thicknesses, so we have to modify the preform tool to get the wall thickness correct.
And what's a preform tool?
Preform is basically, because the thread's important on this tool, we don't want to damage that thread. So if you're trying to blow mould it, it doesn't blow mould very well. So you have to mould it first of all, then protect that when you're blowing it the second time.
Right, let's go and see some of the machines that you are blow moulding on.
But before we go and see that, let's have a look at the cavities. These are the ones we're making for Boxing Clever. It's a sports drinks bottle.
And so, what material again is this?
Aluminium.
And you're making these on the Hercos?
Yes, it's all pre-programmed, offline.
And in terms of accuracies, what is it that your clients require?
Yeah, we're looking at 01, 02, pretty accurate because it needs to represent the bottle at the end of the day.
And the surface finish?
This one is just machined. Sometimes on a blow mould, we actually sandblast it because it actually gets rid of all the air. So we've just looked at the injection mould tool in the tool room. They'll mould that, then we'll take the resulting mould, put it into the carrier. We will then put this part, which is the punt, into here. This then will be heated up in another machine.
Talk me through this process.
Okay, so this is the carrier, as we've seen earlier. We put that on top of there and it's all sealed. So, and then we adjust the heater bands. So this goes round in a big circle and it heats up the plastic. We've got to make sure that it doesn't heat it up too quickly, but it gets it to the right temperature so it's flexible enough to blow into the mould.
And again, what obstacles do you come across here? Because there's a real difference in thickness of the walls of this product.
Yeah. It's adjusting the heaters so they can heat the plastic at the right temperature. So we have to quite a lot of adjustment is needed on the heaters. And then we'll put that into here and inject air into the cavity to blow it into the shape.
And what are some of the issues that you have to overcome with this process?
Usually there's a couple that's heating the part to the right temperature so it's liquid enough to mould and also not too liquid that it actually flows out. And also is the wall thicknesses. With a shape like this, we can take a guess, a really good guess of how it's going to come out, but until we've actually got a moulding and cut it in half, then we can really have a look at the wall thicknesses.
And this is exactly where you add value here at Gemini Prototyping.
Yeah, this is a real sort of the prototyping bit. So you really have to sort of have a good guess. I mean, you've got some calculations on the computer, can work out the stretch, as they call it, to work out where the wall thickness is going to be needed.
Some real science behind it.
Yeah, lots of calculations.
So this is a blow moulding machine. Can you tell me about where this sits in the process?
Yeah, so we looked earlier at the actual tool with the two cavities. So what they'll do is they'll fix them into this machine. This is a continuous blow moulding, so it will get an extrusion of plastic come down, the tool will close, air will come in from the top and blow it into the cavity, then it will open and eject it out, as you can see.
And what temperature is it?
The plastic's about 180 degrees.
Wow, that's pretty hot. And in terms of the plastics that you're using, where do they go, any spare parts? Because it's not all single-use plastic either.
No. What happens is all the offcuts will get recycled. It'll get chopped up and recycle it again. Right, this is an injection moulder. The plastic goes in the top, gets heated up, comes through the tool. This is the tool that we had in the workshop. As you see, the part's being ejected now, and that's the whole process. Again, it's an aluminium tool.
Where do you add value into Gemini Prototyping?
Me personally, well, I mean, I love working here. I've worked here for a long time, like 15 years now. Every day is completely different. So we have problems on a Monday, and we still have problems on a Wednesday of different clients. So we try and help them ease their way through all their different processes and different problems that they've got with their project.
Does your experience in prototyping help you when a new customer comes along?
I hope so, yeah, because we like to do a lot of products that we help clients with. We've done some for Dragon's Den, you know, just supporting them. It's a bit of a minefield designing a component from scratch and actually bringing it into the industry.
Well, I particularly just run the blow moulding department. I've been doing it 15 years, and the changes really, especially in the last 2 years, is the motor industry and the aircraft industry. We've moved away from that quite a lot, especially during the last year, during COVID. That's really tailed off. But what we have noticed is a surge in medical, so we've branched out into a lot of different companies on that side.
So what is it that you like about working here at Gemini?
I particularly love the speed and the diverse range of applications we get involved in. So that phone I mentioned that rings, it can be a motorsport application right the way down to a medical or even an automotive application, but it's all wanted tomorrow. And okay, we do tomorrow plus 1 day.
Thanks for watching this week's 10-minute topic of Swarf and Chips. Now, I can't stress enough how quite difficult this show was to film, purely on the basis that we can't show you as much as we would love to. But when a company designs a product and they go through this prototyping process, it is not easy, and what they have to go through, the hurdles that they have to cross to get that product to market perfectly. It could be the material, medical grading of the material. It could be moving one slight feature on that product that can change the whole product entirely. I've got a newfound respect for this area and this industry and how they're trying to change it to become more sustainable.